Hi there, beautiful souls watching. Welcome and thank you. I'm Gabrielle, retired medium in Germany, and I like to share some of my otherworldly experiences and insights. So this one is about crop circles. I came late to the party. Just a few years ago, I started looking into crop circles, although I heard about them earlier, but wasn't my time, supposedly. So they were increasing over a special time, and now it's getting more rare. And they are very interesting to me because they show a lot of symbology, a lot of sacred geometry and geometric patterns and signs, as well as highly sophisticated constructs, ideas, or even philosophies, and even technical kind of depictions. So I don't believe that these two old blokes from England who declared they made all the crop circles with just a board of wood and a rope. I think they're called Doug and Dick. I don't believe that. That to me is one of these fake debunk things that come up if something true comes out. Right after that, everybody is busy and eager to debunk and make it look fake and a hoax and whatever. These two old guys surely did not travel around the world because crop circles do not only appear in England. I would love to see their passports. So they're either paid or do it for... That's so ridiculous. The so-called fame, which is nothing but a bubble, and it costs a price, and all these fakers and debunkers will have to pay a price very soon, I think, because everything's about to come out. It already started. If you're not blind, you find and stumble across, or your guides make you stumble across, or your higher self, videos and things that tell another version of the story you were made to believe. I really stopped in my trail when I came across the crop circles depicting very highly sophisticated things from fractal science, like the Mandelbrot-Set or the Julia set. There is even a crop circle, there was a crop circle depicting the number pi in a very graphic sense. So no one can tell me that these two old guys are able to do that. I don't think they have enough up in their head for doing that. Sorry, I don't want to offend anyone, but it is really highly sophisticated stuff that's depicted there. And people that went to crop circles, they even felt something energy-wise, and other people that tried to explore and examine found out that, well, if you do it with a board like these two blokes said, then you break the crops. But they are not broken. They are kind of melted in their node points, laid down, and they still grow and they still blossom. So that's impossible to create with just a board, flattening the ground and breaking the crops. So I looked into the Mandelbrot-Set a little bit, And if you ever saw the videos about that, you know, when they kind of dive deep and ever deeper into this whole construction that looks like a big kind of circle with a small circle, reminds me very much of a sitting Buddha, stylized, you know, or at least a figure with a body and a head. And in Germany it's called the Apple Man, because it looks like an apple with a head, so they made this word about the Mandelbrot-Set, the main figure of it. And if you zoom into that, and there are videos in the internet freely, you can find them, you just have to go and search for yourself. They zoom in, and at the edges of the former figure there appear little kind of appendages, and you zoom in and zoom in and zoom in, and you get into more and more kind of magic and wonderful looking imaginary types of landscapes. And the scientists even put names like that onto special areas where they zoomed in. They called one the Valley of the Seahorses, because some figures look like seahorses. And the more you zoom in, you always come across the main first figure, the Apple Man or the Mandelbrot figure, again and again and again. So that is the fractal repeating itself again and again and again. So that's so much for the crop circles. And the latest ones I came across are in the thumbnail. They are too looking a bit similar, and they came up in England exactly at the 8th of August this year. That was Lionsgate. And they came up in Wiltshire, one after the other, and they're very interesting to me. I still don't know enough about crop circles and sacred geometry and everything, but as a medium I have my own intuition and get some ideas or inspirations when I look at them. So you might even go back after this video and have again a look at the thumbnail for more than just a second, and just observe, see and look what you see or what you perceive or what's coming up. You know, when I look at the first one, that looks to me in the circle like, you know, a finger and a thumb kind of touching a button. And there are 6 of these fingers in the circle. They can also remind you of the can opener from the Swiss knives, don't they? They look a bit like that, you know. And what comes up with the idea of opening a can? I have to think of the box of Pandora and things like that, or opening a can of worms, which to me, in analogy or metaphorically, is exactly where we are right now. Things are coming up, and whatever the still a bit ruling forces are trying to create or to manipulate, they think they are touching the button, but I think it's the finger of God touching the button. And that belongs very much into the whole thing about the cycle, the ending of the cycle, and what usually happens at the end of a cycle with changes, earth changes, also some cataclysmic. But do not forget that your soul has you. You are living within this greater field around you. which is higher energy and higher consciousness and is connected directly via your heart and via your soul and higher self to source, all that is itself. So I think it's the finger of God pressing a button, and now things are unfolding. And they want me to remind you of your power, of all our power inside, that we can use not only in meditation but also in prayer, the right prayer, which is not directing your energy to any outside force or God or whatever kind of figure you are entrained with religiously. The only thing my guides, the Elohim, ever said about that openly, to not bring me in trouble, was all religions are man-made. That can tell you enough. And if you research the Bible, you know that it was redacted since 333 by various rulers, and of course they redacted for their own advantage. So you can't believe that this is the true word of God, and it's the same for me, as at least. Don't want to offend anyone. You can believe whatever you like. I don't believe that stuff any longer. It's got not anything to do with the real true word of God, which is living inside of you as a vibration, as the consciousness, the love light of Source itself, all that is. And you are a fractal, a part of that. Well, the process is unfolding, and if there are cataclysmic kind of things occurring, which are even amped up by hidden technology from the ruling forces to make it worse and keep people in fear and panic and terror and low vibration. That's why they're all around the internet everywhere. It springs into my face, you know, all this doom and gloom stuff, and I'm so sick and tired of that. That's where they want to keep you, and you even manifest that by looking at pictures and listening to people propagating that. The Elohim never talked about that. They say only the positive will bring fruit. If you focus on the negative, you create exactly that. And it's mostly what you don't want to create. So a lot of people already intuitively or even knowingly united in prayer during the last hurricanes in USA, and they kind of changed the outcome by that. So if we all unite in prayer and use our divine power of sound, speaking the right words, or imagination, creating the right pictures inside, we can change every outcome. Hope you get that and are not pissed off or angry at me. But if you are, okay, go ahead. You can use your freedom for whatever you like. But everything has consequences. Every cause has a consequence. So better be a bit careful with your thoughts, because in this high energy we are right now, things manifest much faster, and sometimes some of our stupid thoughts manifest very rapidly, and then suddenly we say, oh, I did not mean that, I didn't want that. Yes, we have to learn to master our thoughts, the whole mental complex, which is part of our whole system. You can't just sit somewhere and allow your thoughts like galloping horses or wild chicken run around and do whatever they like. And most of our thought patterns are already programmed and entrained into us via our education systems, and they have not very much to do with truth. So looking at the second crop circle that came up after the first one, you might notice that it's more or less the same, just a little change is made where the finger touches the button, because the button is kind of repeated 3 times in smaller buttons or circle forms. So if I look at that, I see the whole thing kind of turning and swirling around like something circular, is going around. So the button is already pressed, and now things are happening. So I'm kind of curious, and I have the feeling this is what I came here for, and I waited my whole lifetime, I'm 68 now, for something like that. I didn't know what I was waiting for, but I always had the feeling since childhood something big has to happen and will happen and is about to come. And as we still live in time, which is illusionary, as my guides tell me, because in higher realms it does not exist the way we perceive linear time. So the dices are rolling. It's already more or less in process, and we're in the middle or even nearer and closer to the end of the whole process. Do not forget your divine power inside. Use prayer and meditation for the good of all, not only yourself, not only your own well-being. Think of your co-humans. We are all here together in this, I call it a boat or a ship called Earth, that's moving through the cosmos in the swirling of the Milky Way galaxy. So the analogy of being in one boat all together isn't that far away if you just widen your horizon and broaden your consciousness a little bit. So that's what I wanted to share with you today, and maybe give you some different views upon crop circles. It's very interesting, an interesting theme, and whatever people say about that, there is even this one video, I think it's called the Oliver video, where a guy put a camera and was able to record the creation of a crop circle, and his camera captured 2 kind of white plasma balls going around in circles, and beneath them in the crops, boom, the crop circle appeared. And some say it's the earth light, because before an earthquake there also come up sometimes these earth lights, like earth plasma lights. Some others say, well, it's the ETs from above trying to communicate and message to us, but we don't get it or dismiss it, and science and blokes like Dick and Doug from England tell untrue things about that. Well, I'm quite sure to know who it is, because I had my own contact. I'm more or less the alter ego of someone on a Pleiadian Taigetan ship, and I encountered my kind of alter ego one night there when I suddenly, without intending it, traveled up to the ship and met this other me, and I know it was me. That's an interesting experience, and I needed some time to digest that. So there are benevolent and angelic beings, invisible or not visible, invisible for our 3D eyes in the skies above, and they're not only watching us, they're helping for us to get the good outcome, which is outside of time, already done, so you don't have to be fearful and you don't have to respond to all the fear-mongering and doom and gloom things you are confronted with in the internet. It's a choice, and you create what you think and feel. So watch your thoughts, watch your feelings, and if you don't like your feelings or your thoughts, well, then go ahead and change them into something positive, something that's good for all, not only for yourself. So that's what I wanted to share today. Thank you for watching. Beautiful souls, blessings, love and light for you on your soul paths. Bye.